God,
my lady.
I look like I'm like a Tony Hawk character creation. Like
It's
just,
so awful. The problem, it's not that you're wearing it. It's that
it's pretty much that I'm wearing it.
no, it's that people of your age legitimately wear it
Yeah, well, that's true too.
for their characters. So the problem here is like, is this Jeff's new characters to get us those likes and subscribes?
This is it.
Smash that like button.
Smash. You guys want some NFTs? You guys just sign up. Game Dad, 20% off.
Oh, that sounded so accurate.
Adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I'm wearing a Splatoon 2 hat. And I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Oh, man, as mentioned from the last show, we were very fortunate to be invited to the Nintendo event, Dad's Play. Thanks again to Nintendo for the event. But then, surprise upon surprise, we got sent these swag boxes, both Jeff and I. And Jeff kind of got the short end of the stick. And so
It's just out of my age range. That's all.
That's the best way to say it. It is a cool hat. And these are both like, everything they gave us actually was very cool and interesting. We got like a tea, we got a controller, we got a tea container, we got these hats. Like, mine is a legitimately cool hat. Like, I will wear this hat normally. And Jeff, you better give that to your kids.
I think I will. And it just looks like we're two character creators where that you're the character I would create in a game, and then this is the character that I would be in like Tony Hawk or something and be like, I am not this person.
So, for our listeners, if you do want to see Jeff in all of his ridiculous glory, check out the video recording of this. We do it live. You can check it on our Twitter, @NewDadGaming, or our YouTube, search for New Dad Gaming. Now, the question would be, if you want to infiltrate the youths, you might wear this outfit. And one place you have to do so is possibly at a gaming night, a big gaming launch, and perhaps a midnight game release for the forthcoming midnight launch for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Huge game coming out. Absolutely a buzz. The world is waiting for this one, the much anticipated sequel to Breath of the Wild. It's been well known that you're going to go ahead and purchase this. But the current conversation is will you bring your kids to the midnight launch during the school week? I think it's a Thursday night, isn't it?
It is a school night, yes.
School night.
Yes.
So walk us through the current mind games, the current thought process you're going through as you might bring your kids to a midnight launch.
Yeah, so we've always talked about this, like reliving our childhood of going to midnight launches and be like, hey, why don't we bring our kids along? But it never really kind of set in, and like a lot of the stuff is digital now, and waiting for the clock on a digital screen is like, that's not as fun. You got to be out there in the weather, braving the elements.
You got to be in the rain,
lining up and like, getting heat out of the car or something. But I wasn't gonna do this, but I was thinking, and then I saw this tweet from GameStop saying, hey, we're having midnight launches in all our stores, check this list. And sure enough, in my city here in Ontario, Canada, and I'm like, are my kids at an age range where this will be the last time? Like, I think of my oldest is 12, going on 13, teenager, he's not going to want to do this anymore. My 10-year-old's kind of getting out of the same kind of phase. If another game comes along, it might be a couple years before they're interested in something, and then that kind of falls away, right? So this one, Zelda, they are both extremely excited for. And then this midnight launch thing came up, and I'm like, I gotta ask Trevor, should I do this? Because I was like, again, like you said, it'll be a Thursday night, midnight, school night. But I'm like, do we play hooky on the Friday, be the cool dad, go to a midnight launch, deal with the fallout of tired kids the next day, and just create that memory in a moment in time?
Do you get that 2 liter of Coke and your takeout from Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Get everything ready, some Cheetos. So, man, it sounds so interesting. I think one of couple things kind of think line up in your favor.
Right.
So
Okay.
we're gonna,
All right.
we're
the
gonna,
pros and cons. I like this. I like this.
We're gonna
Okay.
workshop it. I'm not gonna have
Yeah.
a lot of cons. I gotta be honest. But we're gonna workshop it a little bit, and gaming dads pitch in after this episode goes live to convince Jeff. But I think you're right in that this age is perfect because I think your kids are going to be so excited about it. And this is still the age where you guys are like really well bonded, like spending most of the time with you. Fast forward 5 years, they'll do it with their friends. They're not going to do it with you. So this is kind of it, right?
This is so sad.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is it. Your last time. Everyone's growing up.
But it's also I don't want to say the console generation is dying, but like the console generation is certainly not even on the ropes. It's just it's a different time. Like there's so much digital, there's so much mobile, there's so much everything to their phones and like games streaming as opposed to actual like physical releases. It's also kind of again a point in time when you can actually get hyped for a physical cartridge that you can go to a store and get. And you know, you ultimately think back to it's their wedding day, and you are giving the speech, and the son comes up, or the kid comes up and gives the speech like, I remember when my dad took me and my other sibling off to GameStop that one night. That was a core memory, and that led me down this happy path. Right? It absolutely becomes just a core memory. So I don't.
You're really selling it here. Like I'm hearing a lot of good stuff.
I can't. I don't have a lot of cons, honestly. Obviously, going to be tired.
Yeah.
It's probably ruin them for 2 days. They might try to use it as precedent for another game. Well, we did it before with Zelda.
True. That's true.
But I think you can navigate this one. I honestly think it's a slam dunk. Now, quickly though, how is the other parent feeling about this whole situation?
So we're live right now, so that is going to come as a surprise. We're a few days out. It's just kind of like popped in, and I'm like, hey, I'll go on the show with this kind of question. And then now that we've kind of collectively decided, I can go back and just see, check in with the other parent.
So the angle is, it is not, this game is cool, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, no.
You can mention it as a side benefit.
This is bonding time. This is
the primary benefit. It's like, dear, this is a slice in time. We are at the nexus. We are at the junction point of me being cool, them being young, and a game releasing we all want. This is our moment. This is core memories.
Do you want to come?
Would you like to join us?
Would you like to be in the parking lot, keeping the car warm as we're outside?
Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm feeling it. I think it's like you said, I think it's a good slice in time. It's one of those games, and Nintendo's the only remaining console that I have that takes cartridges. Nothing else has any of it, so I'm relying on Nintendo to keep this going, and we'll see where it goes. But I'm feeling it. Like as I lead this show, I think this is in a good place. You convinced me.
I'm so happy about that. Now, what is the current Zelda situation? Is you had mentioned to me before the show that your kids are studiously playing the original Breath of the Wild in preparation. Have you also kind of dipped in to see, to touch it, remind yourself how this thing actually plays?
I have not. It's like, I think we talked about it in length about how, the breakable weapons is just aggravating. Mm-hmm. And I saw my kids go back into it, and immediately their weapons were breaking left, right, and center. I'm like, yep. Okay, I remember that stuff and that anxiety and the, trying to save all the weapons. But my 12-year-old, my 10-year-old both went in, and they were doing the DLC. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot we got the DLC for this thing. Like, they had the motorbike and the extra battles and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you're doing new stuff that I did not know existed. So it was kind of, I was like, what is going on? But no, it was great to see them kind of like rip it up again. And again, like, get back into the Zelda world. And I myself, as a spectator, was just happily watching them. And I'm like, maybe I will have to, dip in just to get my skills back up. But maybe this is one of those games where they dip in first. Maybe I give them that. You know what I mean? Because usually Dad gets the first go. Maybe this is them doing it.
That's going to be an interesting... You almost have to think about that. Like, how are you going to navigate... Because it's one player. So it's like, we're going to do shifts. We're going to do like 20-minute segments. We're going to do like
Yeah.
missions. You're going to have to like kind of plot that out to make sure the night is really bonding and not that the straw that breaks the camel's back and everything gets destroyed.
Yeah, I haven't thought too far ahead. Because again, like you're saying this, and I'm like, okay, midnight launch, we get back. Let's say 12:30, 12:45. If it's not like crazy busy, I don't know if it will be. And then, are they going to play it that night? I don't know, because you stick it in, and it has to install and maybe download a patch. By the time you get going, it's 1 a.m. And like, I'm not sure if we would be playing at that time. It would be like wake up early and then, oh my god, play it then. But is that going to ruin it? They're like, oh, we stood in line for this, and then we don't get to play. It's going to be one of those conversations. I'm like, maybe I don't set up for that, or maybe just manage those expectations. Be like, we can go and get it. Not necessarily going to play it. Or maybe Dad will, and then you can wake up and do your own save file. I don't know.
Nice. I think, okay, if there has to be I think Nintendo's pretty good with this type of stuff. Like same day patch, I don't think you're going to see it personally. Yeah. If you do, I think it's like, okay, guys, here's the game plan. It's going to take 2 hours. Let's all go to sleep. Set your alarm for 7 o'clock, and then we're just going to spend the whole day together playing it. And then you still get this shine. You still get like the part.
Yeah.
All right. Now to move on though, so like you're about to be your kid's hero.
About to be, yeah.
But you've already tried to be their hero because you're trying to save a Roblox account. Which is all the better because you have no business saving it, no desire to save anything on Roblox. Your life would be better if it would just die.
I think so.
So, what happened? Like, what is the current Roblox situation? My kids they want to, but it was a bit confusing, and they never quite got into it.
Yeah.
So, what's the current Roblox situation in your household? Would you recommend it to other gaming dads? And then what happened to the account?
So the current situation is that this thing is as popular as Minecraft. It will never die. And they constantly, both my 12-year-old and 10-year-old will play it with their friends, like almost weekly. Just something that always lives on. And I will not recommend it to other gaming dads just because it's not regulated as much as Minecraft is. Minecraft is like this sandbox game that has boundaries in both like what you can do in it and what you can kind of say in it. And Roblox is just kind of like the Wild West. Like anything goes. You can find anything on there. If someone gives you a link or friends you or whatever, like it's just, it goes where it goes, right? So I never felt truly comfortable with them playing Roblox by themselves, but we have allowed it until there's an issue. Like losing a password, which Trevor, if you've ever talked to a kid to get the truth out of them of what happened, is just like it's like this interrogation process. Like, I don't care what happened, I just want the truth. I don't want you to make stuff up. Like, just tell me. So
what was the best part of the story of them trying to explain how their password got lost?
So they're like, hey, I tried to log in and it wasn't going. So I put in your email. So you should get a password reset. And don't worry about that because I've already clicked on the customer support button and put in a help ticket.
Oh, no.
So now I've got a password reset that's going to the wrong email and a customer ticket that somehow my less than 13-year-old, because you have to be 13 to be on Roblox technically, otherwise you're a child account, has somehow been able to submit a ticket to their help team.
Cool.
And the whole problem with this, I'll kind of like just tie this up briefly, is just when we created these Roblox accounts, and I don't know if you did this, but I didn't associate it with the email or a phone number because you didn't have to at that time. But I think when they went public, which was a few years ago, they started inserting all these things that you had to do. So now it has to be tied to an email.
Oh.
My 12-year-old's account is not tied to any email, probably because I didn't want my name out there associated with whatever he was doing.
He did not want to be touching Roblox.
Yeah. So any of the password resets he was firing out actually were tied to my 10-year-old's account, and that one was being resetted constantly. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, it was just a nightmare. Like,
I have a meeting. I can't do this. They have like 3 computers, 2 phones,
I
a
was in
couple
the
carrier
Matrix.
pigeons.
It was just intense, and it was happening over. It was Friday night over the weekend, and I'm like, well, it's the weekend. They can't get back to you. I don't know what hours they work. It might be a few days for them to. My 12-year-old's on YouTube trying to figure out how to skip a password authentication process. I'm like, listen, I know you're resourceful, but let's just let the help desk ticket go through and see where we're at. So anyway, all of it, when the dust is settled, I will warn gaming dads everywhere. Link it to an email that you don't want.
You don't want associated.
That you don't want associated with all the spam and stuff you're going to get from it. And have different emails for each kid. Because otherwise it gets too confusing. It doesn't, like, I think their system doesn't know what to do and it starts resetting the wrong one. But different emails, different usernames, and make sure that they don't have access to that password, because we found out they were video recording their screen when they were typing in their password and sent it to all their friends in Discord, which probably somebody went in there and screwed with him and reset his password.
Hey guys, my password is just password. Does that work? Is that a good
Yeah,
one?
exactly.
Just like, is that okay?
So it's been a weekend. That was just a lot happening, and I wasn't. It was one of those things like, oh, now I guess that's my problem. Like, I could have just said no, but it's like one of those things that I had to figure out. And I'm like, well, what's happening? Don't give away your password.
Yes, it's much like it's somewhat similar to like the Minecraft account situations where, okay, I have to sign up for a new one.
Yeah.
No, not the education version. No, not the Java one. Okay, now I have to create a Gmail account. Okay, now I have to go check that.
Yes.
You know, there's all this burden placed upon a gaming dad to try to like get these accounts done. But at least the end of that was Minecraft.
Yeah.
And for this, at the end of this is Roblox, which you have no interest in playing.
Exactly. Yeah.
For us, like, you know, we're getting asked all the time on this show. Like, we'll say it on this show, and anytime I do interviews on other podcasts, it's like, what's great? What's a great game for kids? And then this one never comes up.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
The thing that I found is it just felt so microtransactioned to the moon.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like as much as we've warned about the potential hazards of Fortnite and other things, like at its core, pretty easy to set up, pretty easy to play. You don't have to pay a dime.
Yeah.
But Roblox, like the majority of the levels, they're asking for coins. It's a special currency. You got to buy it. You got to put in a credit card. It's just like, and I think people, because of the maker type of aspect to it, people kind of have blood in the water.
Yeah.
So the sharks have showed up. So everything is like, there's professional studios now trying to come in and like bilk people for the coins, and it's like pay per play often for some of these worlds, or you had to purchase the worlds to play in Roblox, or it's pay per play. And it's just, you know, it's a bad scene. Like, it just feels like the Wild West, and it's not.
No.
Kids love it. Kids adore it, though. Like, I really expect my kids to start getting into it more.
Yeah, I would. I dread the day for you, but it's much like, and it has a whole trading system in here too. So if you earn something, let's say you grind away, or even Robux, and you buy something, you can trade that stuff away with like very little like resistance.
Oh, no.
It will just go, and then your kid will be like, "Okay, I want it back now," and you're like, "No, it's gone." Yeah. It's like you gave that card away to someone that's in a running vehicle, and now that person's gone in the distance. Sorry.
You gave it to Johnny Flame 65. Like, this is never gonna come back. Like, that guy's not your friend. I don't know what to tell you.
No,
like,
exactly. So it's again, like you said, I think it's just Wild West. There's a lot in there, and it's very predatory. I don't agree with it at all, but I understand where the creativity and the fun can get in when you have friends to do it with.
Yeah.
So just watch out for that. I don't know. You'll see you and your friends start talking about it at recess. You'll be like, "Hey, stay away from those kids. They're talking Roblox."
That kid's not invited over to my house.
Yeah. Please don't have them over here. Don't go over to their house.
Oh, now so I'll transition to a bit more of a positive story, where because I think this is where you can see some of the good parts of gaming, and this is something that I really hope to see for this type of thing for my kids, to try to prompt them to learn more and more. So specifically, I've it seems that I've been a lifelong learner of Spanish, unsuccessfully, embarrassingly.
No,
only
it's
married.
good to learn, and we're on this show to
No,
promote learning at all levels.
It is, Jeff, but I
Yeah.
can't learn. Estudio español mucho, no hablo nada.
See, I think that sounds great.
Yeah, good. Good. You're impressed. I did
Yes,
it. That was the
did it.
entire reason. Anyways, like, adore Spanish, love Spanish, lifelong learner. I cannot get past it. So I'm on Duolingo. I've taken courses before. I intend to get there. So one thing came up on my Quest VR headset, and it was a little thing called Noun Town.
I love that name. That
Noun
is such a
Town.
great. I'm going to Noun Town.
Yeah, going to Noun Town. Pardon me. So you can choose your language. So I think it has Japanese, it has Spanish, I think Portuguese is in there. Choose your mix, and then they put you into specific scenarios. So you're in a cafe, you're in a grocery store, you're on a farm, and you're walking around. And the one thing, as per the name, Noun Town, you're walking around this place in VR, virtual reality, and you pick up. It's like, all right, you need to learn 5 words today. Pick up 5 things. So you go around, you grab like a cup, Taza. Or Taz, oh man, I'm gonna get it wrong. It'd be so embarrassing. Right? Or wine, vino, you pick it up. And
Yeah.
and the thing that actually does, so you pick it up, they'll pronounce it for you, and then you have to say it back. So it uses the microphones on your headset. So you're strolling around, you're grabbing stuff, that's saying the cerveza. Currently on screen, we have it playing in the background. The first thing the guy picks up is cerveza for beer. It's like, very nice, good
Yeah,
choice.
there you go.
But you're going through, so that you're picking up the words, and then eventually you unlock verbs, so you could start to learn about actions. And then you're actually interacting with locals. So you're walking into a store or a cafe, and it's having you go through the motions of go into this cafe and order a coffee. And then like it's not just a matter of like it's like kind of static pictures. Like you get to be in that space and walk up to the person, maybe grab like a croissant or something and put it on the counter and then ask for it.
Right.
And the whole time you're doing it, you're like, this is awesome, man, because it's just a bit more interactive. It's a bit more interesting. They could throw, they'll do some games. So they had one where it's a word will come up and then you have to hit. It's a classic whack-a-mole game, but in VR. And it comes up and you like just have to like slam that particular word that matches like the one that they're saying over there. So that they're using all these like these gaming methods to try to like enforce a learning. And it's like, man, this, as soon as I can get my kids into VR, this is the type of thing that I'd love to kind of like spin their way. It's in that entire category where this is a game and you're a general and you have a bunch of soldiers. You got to beat those guys. But how many soldiers do you need? Well, you should have 2 times 20 soldiers if you're going to win. How many is that? And they're like, 40, ha ha ha. You're like, ha ha, sucker, you just learned some math.
So, like, I relate this to, like, in grade school, did you ever do in French class where you had to build in class, like, a little, like, cardboard kind of place where it was like a hot dog stand or something, and you had to exchange stuff in French, the money, buy the food, whatever. And kids loved it. I remember loving it. So this is like grade 2 for adults. Like, it's just recreating that in a whole bunch with a lot less mess in a whole bunch of different situations where it's just way more accessible. Like, if you learn this kind of like hands-on kind of way, that's amazing. That's perfect. And just put you in different spaces like instantly instead of going to the next cardboard box and drawing on the side of the wall.
Yeah, and also, and what's been good too is like the situational conversations where one thing I've honestly found is like I will start to build up vocabulary and a knowledge of what I think is a knowledge of the language, and then I like walk up. I'd be in Colombia or somewhere, and I walk up and somebody would say something. And I'm just like, what the hell was that? Like, I didn't understand a single thing. What is this? And that happens in this game, but the good thing is like you can get that immediate like, oh God, what the heck did they just say?
Right.
Except, and then now, okay, let's take this apart. Like, let's show me what they actually said. Let me hear it again, and like learn. There's something about that like quote unquote physicality to it, makes it interesting. So
So
this
Noun Town. That's what
Noun
this
Town.
Noun Town.
So I hope like it's it's such low hanging fruit as far as parenthood and gaming, it's like, well, I can teach my kids math and like languages. Like gaming's so great. So I don't like to really mess with that too much. But I tend to be. I was pretty excited about this, and especially with the extra dimension of VR, it was just cool to see.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, they've taken it to another place. So I'm so excited to see it.
absolutely. Again, I will say that we all had those education games, like the encyclopedias and like the keyboard gamification stuff. So like this is just adding on to that with a cool virtual space.
Hey, if anyone out there has other educational games that happen to be fun,
happen to.
You happen to be having a gaming little session, maybe you learn a little something. Write us in, let us know
In Spanish.
Yeah, please. Yeah, let's see how it go. You can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com, or on Twitter at newdadgaming. And to wrap it up here for the week, I did want to, what was like dad to dad conversation.
Ooh, yes.
We're coming into a situation where there's a really great little boy on our street, and my two kids have befriended them, and the parents are fantastic, just like really wonderful people. And I'm also like very excited about this. Like great, like neighborhood kids, friends, like everybody can meet up, like start to create a community. Something I'm really hoping to do this year. But the situation has come is that they'll come home on the bus now, and they came out one day. It's like, hey, can we go to this guy's house? It's like, I'm okay if you guys are okay. And like, okay, so off they went. It's great. They had a wonderful time. Next day rolls around. Bus comes out. Kids like come out the bus like, hey, can we go to this person's house? It's like, well, no. No, you can't go again. You just were there yesterday, right? So it would happen. Like, okay. Yeah. Next day rolls around. Bus comes out. Kids plod down this bus like, hey, can we go to their house? It's like, no, you can't go every day.
We live there now.
So, and it's like, why? And then the great kid question, the end all kid question is like, why can't we go? And it's like, they're very nice. They're happy to have you. You guys have a great friendship. That's great. I'm cool with you being there too. But there comes a point where you become their extra kid and you become a burden. And we can't cross that threshold. So there is limits there's boundaries, there's limits. And like, it was just a very nuanced and difficult conversation to have with my kids around, yes, he's your friend. Yes, the parents are cool. No, I don't have a problem with you going, but no, you also can't go because you gotta learn boundaries and reasons. Have you ever stumbled across anything similar on your side?
Yeah, we have a rule here, which might help you out, might not. I don't know, because they're going to another person's house. But in order for our kids to have friends here all the time, they have to clean the rooms and clean the basement. And it's like one of those things where like, that's where they're going to hang out. So it needs to be relatively clean, and they haven't put in that effort to do it. So they don't have kids in the house. They have kids on the street. But like, and they're never like, oh, it's never a thing. It's just like, oh, I can't because I didn't do the things I was supposed to. But they always ask to go over to the friends' houses because they can get inside and have screen time when they're really not supposed to. Do you know what I mean? Like, so they're skirting the like, oh, we say you have to clean before screen. That's our thing. Like, so you have to clean your room.
Say that again.
Clean before screen. So it's all about the slogans, man. You gotta. I wear this hat when I do it.
Yeah, can we get that on a T-shirt somewhere?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you gotta clean before you screen.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, they probably end up hating it. It's probably like this traumatic thing they'll retell somebody later in life. But that's something that they have to do here. But I think they, if they go over to a friend's house, they get away with it, and then they come back. It's supper. They have to clean up, and then it's bedtime. So I'm like, I see what you're doing, but we can't do it all the time because, like you said, those people have lives and they do other things, and you can't just insert yourself over there. If you're invited, fine, but you can't just ask me to go over to their house. That's not cool. You can play on the street in front of their house, but not inside.
Yeah.
So
the screen time thing, that what they ended up doing is they went to that guy's house, and they will often end up in front of YouTube.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
It's like, all right, well, that's not the point. Is like, I said no, so you don't go to the buddy's house just so you can watch YouTube. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. I kind of I get it, but still, come on. Even worse was, I think I may have already relayed this story before, but that's just where I have to come home and turn off all the devices because like we've got a pretty good lockdown going on the house as far as what they get access to.
Yeah.
But they find the cracks, man. They will get into some stuff they're not supposed to be watching, which is bad enough if it's them. But if it's another kid, it's like, oh, in that household, they watch this. They watch what? All of a sudden, I'm a pariah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so it's been fun. Like I said, it's trying to introduce subtlety and nuance to these, to a 5 and 7-year-old about, they're your friend, you were invited, but no, you can't go because you went yesterday. We need some time between because families got to be families and you can't become a burden on another family.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Like it's just,
is it?
And no, you cannot go to their house and watch YouTube.
Yeah.
Go kick a ball or something. Come on. What are we doing here? All right, there. Let's wrap it up there for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening once again. Hey, one of the greatest parts of this podcast, for sure, has been talking to, besides all the Nintendo swag now.
Yeah, decked out.
I kid, of course. But one of the greatest parts have been speaking with other gaming dads. So, do you have a similar story? Have you struggled with Roblox? Do you hate Roblox? Would you like to form a I Hate Roblox club with Jeff? Have you taken your kid yet to a midnight launch? Would you like to? Do you have ideas of teaching your kids to learn through playing games? Do you struggle with setting boundaries about neighborhood kids and about when to go over? All this stuff, we'd absolutely love to hear from you. Love to feature your story. Either just hear from you would be great, or feature your story on the air for the next episode. Reach out to us at New Dad Gaming on Twitter, or you can find us on our website, newdadgaming.com. If you did like the podcast, we're on all the major podcasting networks, so you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcasts. Just search for New Dad Gaming. What really helps out the show, if we might request it, is if you do subscribe. Subscribing there, like, boosts the numbers, and even better is if you can rate it and leave a comment. Doing so says, hey, these gaming dads are onto something. It spreads the words out to gaming dads, and we all grow onwards and upwards together.
That's the goal.
Listen, if you don't clean, you don't get screened.
You don't get screened. That's right.
Do they roll their eyes?
Oh, absolutely. Every single time. If not in front of me, then definitely behind my back.
Like they would have to roll it so hard you must hear it. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm gonna steal that. I'm absolutely saying that to my kid.
I put it out into the world for other dads to traumatize their kids with. So.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old.
And just remember, just because you became a dad
doesn't mean clean before screen.
Just doesn't mean you can have a screen before you clean.
Before you clean.